In the end, respect is not just about her. It's about you. It's about the man you choose to be. It's about the legacy you choose to leave. It's about whether you want to be remembered as someone who built bridges or someone who built walls. And remember, bridges don't just connect 2 points. They create pathways for others to follow. When you respect a woman, you set an example for those around you, for the next generation, for anyone who's watching. If you show them what is possible when we choose to honor each other's humanity. So let respect be your guiding principle. Let it inform your actions, your words, and your thoughts. Let it be the foundation upon which you build your relationships. And let it remind you, always, that the greatest strength lies not in dominance, but in understanding, not in control, but in connection, and not in fear, but in love. Respect builds bridges, not walls. And it is through those bridges that we create a better world together. Integrity is the essence of trust. Without it, no foundation can sustain the weight of a meaningful relationship. When a man chooses to act with honesty, to mean what he says and do what he promises, he transforms not only the relationship, but also himself. Actions are the purest expression of character. They reveal the depth of commitment and the substance of a person's soul. Empty promises and shallow gestures are poor substitutes for the profound impact of integrity, which is woven not through words, but through the consistency of one's actions over time. If there is one thing we can all take away from this conversation, it's this: empower yourself. A man's words, no matter how eloquent, are meaningless if they are not backed by action. To tell someone they are valued while disregarding their feelings in moments that matter is hypocrisy at its finest. Words are easy. They flow with little effort, often crafted to soothe, pacify, or impress. But actions demand something far greater. They demand discipline, responsibility, and courage. They are tangible proof of your intentions, and they carry a weight that words alone cannot bear. A man who consistently aligns his actions with his promises is not only trustworthy, but also inspiring. He creates a space where others feel safe, where vulnerability is not a risk, but a privilege. And then he calls out your behavior to cause you to show up and live by your best self, the work that no one else can do for you. There is a saying, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say." This truth resonates deeply in the context of relationships. When a man says he cares, but fails to show up when it matters, his words become hollow. When he promises support, but disappears in moments of need, his promises turn to dust. And when he speaks of love, but neglects the small, everyday acts that nurture it, his declarations lose their meaning. The connection between our words and our actions is vital to our character and ultimately to our lives. When you implement on what you say, in contrast, a man who acts with integrity doesn't need to speak as much. His actions tell the story. His presence in times of difficulty, his attentiveness to unspoken needs, and his unwavering reliability communicate far more than words ever could. Integrity is not just about fulfilling grand commitments. It's about honoring the small ones as well. It's about showing up on time, keeping your word, and following through on even the seemingly insignificant promises. These small acts accumulate over time, creating a pattern that defines who you are. They signal to the people in your life that they can depend on you, that your words carry weight, and that your intentions are pure. Conversely, failing to honor even the smallest commitments erodes trust. It sends a message that your words are negotiable, that your promises are conditional, and that your character is unreliable. Deception, whether deliberate or through omission, is a betrayal of trust. When a man resorts to manipulation or lies, he is not only damaging the relationship, but also corroding his own character. Lies may provide short-term relief, but they come at a long-term cost. They create a web of complications, requiring more lies to maintain, and they ultimately destroy the foundation of trust. Trust, once broken, is extraordinarily difficult to rebuild. Destroy confirmations, being the most sacred of words. Lead with vulnerability and play moniker. armed with weapons, lead with commitment, and extraordinarily difficult to rebuild. It takes consistent, transparent effort to repair, and even then, the cracks often remain visible. It's far easier and infinitely more rewarding to build trust from the beginning through honesty and integrity. And the more we are honest, the better the relationship grows, and ultimately, the more comfortable we feel. Integrity also means having the courage to admit when you're wrong. No one is perfect, and mistakes are inevitable. What defines a man is not the absence of error, but his willingness to take responsibility for it. To admit fault, to apologize sincerely, and to make amends requires strength, humility, and a deep sense of accountability. It shows that you value the relationship more than your ego, and that you are willing to do the hard work of growth and reconciliation. This, in itself, is an act of love. A man who lacks integrity not only damages his relationships, but also limits his own potential. There is a quiet power in living authentically, in being someone whose actions align with their words. This alignment creates a sense of inner peace, a freedom from the anxiety that comes with deception and inconsistency. It allows you to walk through life with confidence, knowing that you are building a legacy of trust and respect. And that legacy extends beyond individual relationships. It influences the way you are perceived in your community, in your work, and in the world. So integrity is not something you can turn on and off like a switch. It is a way of being, a daily practice. It's in the decisions you make when no one is watching, in the promises you keep even when it's inconvenient, and in the way you treat others regardless of what they can do for you. It requires discipline because the path of integrity is often the harder one. It demands sacrifice because living with integrity means prioritizing long-term respect over short-term gain. But it is a sacrifice worth making, for the rewards are profound. Relationships built on integrity are deeper, richer, and more fulfilling. They are the relationships that weather storms, that grow stronger over time, and that provide a sense of purpose and belonging. Consider the profound impact of integrity on the people around you. When you act with honesty and consistency, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions set a standard, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate relationships. You become someone who others look up to, someone who is sought out for advice, guidance, and support. This is the power of integrity. It doesn't just transform your life, it transforms the lives of those around you. At its core, integrity is about respect. Respect for the people in your life, respect for your own values, and respect for the commitments you make. It is the ultimate expression of love because it shows that you care enough to be reliable, to be truthful, and to be present. Love without integrity is fleeting. It is built on a shaky foundation that cannot withstand the challenges of life. But love grounded in integrity is enduring. It grows stronger with time, fortified by the trust and mutual respect that integrity fosters. In the end, integrity is not just about being the kind of man who keeps his promises. It's about being the kind of man who understands the weight of those promises, who cherishes the trust placed in him, and who strives every day to be worthy of it. It's about recognizing that your actions have the power to shape the world around you, to build relationships that are not just functional, but extraordinary. Your private relationships with your children are not just functional, but extraordinary. And it's about choosing in every moment to act with honesty, consistency, and respect. Actions, as they say, speak louder than words. And a man who lives with integrity doesn't need to shout. His actions tell the story of who he is. Someone who can be counted on. Someone who builds trust instead of breaking it. Someone who chooses the harder path because it is the right one. In every decision, big or small, there is an opportunity to embody integrity. Take that opportunity. Let your actions be a testament to your character. Let them speak louder than any words ever could. Respect is the foundation of every meaningful human relationship. It is not just a value. It is the essence of how we connect, understand, and grow together. When we talk about respect, we are not merely discussing a set of actions or words. We are delving into the profound acknowledgement of another person's dignity, experiences, and unique identity. Number 4, respect is the verbal authority. This is especially true in the dynamics between a man and a woman, where respect has the power to build bridges of trust and love, or, if absent, walls of resentment and misunderstanding. To respect someone means to see them, truly see them, not as an extension of yourself, not as a reflection of your desires, but as a whole autonomous being with dreams, fears, and aspirations. It is to recognize that they bring to the table their own set of experiences and their own voice, which deserves to be heard. Disrespect, on the other hand, is not always loud or obvious. Respect, on the other hand, is not always loud or obvious. It can be quiet, insidious, and subtle. A dismissive glance, a condescending tone, or the act of interrupting when they are trying to share their thoughts. These small acts, repeated over time, erode the foundation of trust like water carving through stone. Let's repeat. There is a saying, the way you treat someone when no one is watching defines who you are. This holds especially true in the way a man treats a woman. Respect isn't about grand gestures or words spoken in public. It's about the consistent, unyielding commitment to honor her humanity in the private moments when no one else is around. A man who belittles, dismisses, or undermines a woman's thoughts is not only disrespecting her, but also diminishing himself. It does not disrespecting her, but also diminishing himself. It's more disrespecting her than it is diminishing himself. Because to disrespect someone else is to fail to see the richness of their world, a world that could enrich your own if only you allowed it. And when you understand where someone comes from and where they want to go, you can design your behavior accordingly. Listening is one of the purest forms of respect. When a woman speaks, she's not merely sharing words, she's sharing pieces of herself, her perspective, her truth. To interrupt her, to dismiss her ideas, or to minimize her emotions is to say in so many unspoken words, what you have to offer is not as valuable as what I have to say. But the truth is, the greatest leaders, the most successful relationships, and the most harmonious teams are built on the foundation of listening. Listening to others and finding out what they have to say is the best way to share and process. Listening to the other person as opposed to listening to others' thoughts. It's through listening that we understand. It's through understanding that we connect. And it's through connection that we build something meaningful. We take responsibility for our own lives. We have to lead with empathy. We have to take responsibility. So how can you begin to take responsibility for yourself? There's another profound truth. Respect is not transactional. You don't show respect only when it's convenient or only when you feel the other person deserves it. True respect is a reflection of your character, not theirs. It is unwavering regardless of circumstances. To respect a woman is not to agree with her every word or to put her on a pedestal. It's to recognize her autonomy, her intelligence, and her ability to navigate her own life. It's to acknowledge that she is not an object to be controlled or a prize to be won, but a partner to be cherished and supported. Some men confuse respect with subservience. They fear that respecting a woman means giving up their power or diminishing their own value. But this is a misconception born out of insecurity. Respect is not a zero-sum game. When you respect someone, you are not giving away your power. You are amplifying it. You are showing strength, not weakness. The more authentically you love the woman around you, the more authentically you will show strength, not weakness. You are demonstrating that you have the confidence to stand beside someone as their equal, not above them as their superior or below them as their subordinate. Taking the time and effort right now as I'm speaking to implement this is the first step in being inclusive in your organization. Consider this: every interaction you have with a woman is an opportunity to either build her up or tear her down. Your words and actions have the power to leave her feeling valued, appreciated, and empowered, or they can leave her feeling small, unheard, and insignificant. Which legacy do you want to leave behind? Because make no mistake, every interaction leaves a legacy, no matter how small or fleeting. Respect also means acknowledging boundaries. It means understanding that no means no, that silence does not imply consent, and that her body, her mind, and her time are her own. Boundaries are not barriers to overcome. They are expressions of autonomy to be honored. When you respect a woman's boundaries, you are not just respecting her, you are respecting yourself. You are proving that you have the emotional maturity to navigate relationships with integrity and dignity. So whatever you have to prove to someone, your material boundaries are respected and dignity. It's often said that respect is earned, but in the context of human relationships, respect should be the default. It should be the starting point, not the destination. You don't wait for someone to prove their worthiness or respect. You grant it because they are human, because they exist, because they have inherent value. And when it comes to a woman, whether she's your partner, your colleague, your friend, or a stranger, she deserves your respect simply because she is. Restrangers, because you are your strangers, Simply because she is. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to realize too late the impact of your actions, to look back and see the moments when your lack of respect hurt someone you cared about. Don't wait for hindsight to teach you what respect could have accomplished in the present. Be proactive. Choose to build those bridges now. Choose to listen more, to judge less, to honor her voice, and to value her contributions. To act in accordance with authority, not jealousy. To let go of the whale, to feed the fish, to commit to authority, and to value her contributions. Respect isn't always easy. It requires humility, patience, and a willingness to grow. It demands that you confront your own biases, that you challenge the narratives you've been taught, and that you rise above the toxic examples that may have shaped you. But the reward is worth the effort. Because when you respect a woman, you create a space where love, trust, and mutual growth can flourish. That every time you respect and grace a woman, you create a space where love, trust, and mutual growth can flourish.